It's the anti-tracker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on YouTube? Michael J. I just realized, what is that doing there? Let's get rid of that crap. All right. Michael J. Crawford, the anti-tracker here, exhausted and ready for this day to be over. But we'll get into that in a minute. I will warn you guys, and I apologize in advance. I'm a little tired. Actually, I'm a lot tired. And so that's yeah. and so this is not going to be a long stream tonight. Plus, I'll tell you what I plan on doing for the rest of this week, because this is going to be a big week for me and stuff going on around here, and hopefully a big some big changes. So let me get into the chat and then we'll talk. Thomas was first. Good to see you, my friend. Azine is a close second, says good evening. Resolute says hello. Valor says second. Actually, you were fourth. Vile Mike says howdy. Hey, Vile. And Thomas put his $1.99 in. Thank you so much, Thomas. I truly appreciate it. It says down with those Karoga Pirates. Number 19. You got it. What is number 19? I'm trying to remember.
Presenting the newest incarnation of the Joker.
What are you talking about? That's not the Joker. That's just some guy.
Oh, right. Sorry. This is the new incarnation of the Joker.
Oh, great. That is just disgusting.
It's Ronald McDonald's disembodied head.
Ah, yes, and the Joker comes out this weekend, I do believe. So, yippee, I guess. Mrs. Antrecker was asking me if I wanted to go see it, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be physically capable of seeing it, but we'll find out how I'm doing this weekend. If I can hobble into the theater, I may try to see it, just because it looks like it's going to be a good movie, just not a good DC movie. Thomas says, I left some messages to look at later in Discord. I saw most of them. I know I know about your pirate troubles, which is why you put that in the super chat. I understand the BIRDOPREY got that taken care of, fortunately. So, yeah, there's good news there, I guess. John DeMarco says hi. Multi-Gunman says, hey, and Trigger, how's it going? I am exhausted. Oh, man, this has not been a pleasant day. I'll tell you, here was, how you make plans for a day, and then the day goes in a totally sideways direction from that, right? So here was the plan today, was I was going to get up, and I was very tired because of the long trip and everything yesterday, so I figured that, okay, I'm going to sleep in a little bit. Then when I do get up, get to, basically I had a couple of phone calls to make as far as to the insurance company and stuff about the truck, because they called me when we were in Gatlinburg that the truck had been totaled instead of they were going to repair it, which really had me pissed off. And then I was thinking, oh my God, I have surgery in 3 days. How the hell am I going to, I got to get a truck in 3 days, or a replacement vehicle at least in 3 days, because there is no other option. I can't go shopping after that. I'm not going to be walking around car lots right after having surgery. That's simply not going to happen. So I had to call the insurance company and say, okay, we need to get this taken care of. We talked about, okay, here's what the fair market value was. Here's what the check's going to be. Okay, fine. And then it's like, okay, so now all you got to do is bring the title of the truck to our office. Great. Where's the local office? Oh, there isn't one in your city. So then me and Mrs. Antrecker had to get in our rental car. We spent, few hours, over 100 miles, driving to the insurance company, doing the paperwork, getting the check, driving to the bank, depositing the check. Then we had to go to the car dealership, where we spent the chunk of the day. And I will tell you, and here's the thing. Here in Tennessee, this time of year, September 30th, the average temperature is about 77 degrees. Today, I believe it hit 99. I know that I saw it at 98 at one point, and I think it got a little warmer. I don't think it crested 100, though. But it was ridiculously hot. The sun was beating down, and we're standing out there in this car lot, me with a bad knee, and trying desperately to find something that'll work. Now, we did manage to find a car. We got a 2016 Chevy Equinox which is a mid-size SUV. Not super fancy, but very clean, solid, relatively low miles, so it'll work for now. You know, that's kind of my thought is, hey, this is a decent car for now, and you know, whenever I can get a new car, great. But this is a perfectly okay vehicle. It'll get me from point A to point B, and overall I like it. And you know, but the problem is, so then we've been out in the sun all day trying to find the car. Well, Mrs. Antrigger does not particularly like being out in the hot sun. She never has. And she was starting to feel nauseous. She was starting to feel woozy. And then she started to feel really bad. And we ended up having to take her, not to the ER, but we took her to an urgency care place as soon as we got the paperwork done on the car. And turns out she has a kidney infection that was just really, really bad. And so they gave her an injection of some antibiotics and a couple of prescriptions. And so she's downstairs resting right now. And so then obviously she knew she wasn't cooking anything. So we stopped at a place to get some food for me, Mrs. Antricker, and Joshua, which I have not eaten yet, because then I got home and checked on Space Engineers, make sure the server was running. It looked like it's running. And then I started this show. Literally got home like 20 minutes ago, or about half an hour ago now. And so I am just beaten up about all this. And here's where it really, really gets on my nerves. And I'm sorry about going on this rant, guys, because I'm just getting it off my chest, because this has been a rough, rough day. So remember, I said my plan was to make these phone calls, and then that devolved into this big adventure that me and Mrs. Antitracker had to deal with. Well, after I did the phone calls, my plan was then to spend the rest of the day, I was going to spend all freaking day working on my 2-year anniversary video for tomorrow morning. Got nothing done. Nothing at all. Because we were out, man. Yeah. So absolutely nothing done on that video for tomorrow, which means I have a couple of choices. I can either stay up all night and try to get it done, which I don't know if I have the energy for, or get up early tomorrow, but I also have a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'd have to get up early, work on it, go to the doctor's appointment, come back from the doctor's appointment, do a live stream, then try to finish the video. I'm just, I am so frustrated right now. So, and I haven't even had my dinner yet. My dinner is downstairs. I'm going to eat that after the live stream. So that's how my day has been. So I apologize if I sound grumpy. I apologize if I sound irritated. It's because I am grumpy and irritated right now. All right, so let's get back to the chat. I'm sorry for all that, guys. I'm going to try to be more positive now. Valor says, I've only seen Pots on, so that's why I was wondering if I was second. No worries, Valor. You know, I understand. It's funny because depending on how each person sees the chat a little bit differently, and it pops up in a little bit different order. I don't know how that works, but yeah. Let's see. I don't quite understand this emphasis on standalone DC films. What happened to the DCU? Simple, Fred. They suck and they don't know what they're doing. I am so frustrated with Warner Brothers and their mishandling of the DC properties. They have the most iconic characters in fiction, and they can't make a cohesive universe. And it's like, I'm sorry, you could find one of a million DC fanboys and one of a million non-DC fanboys that just like superheroes, and put together a cohesive universe that makes sense with a consistent tone and everything, like what Marvel did. And not necessarily the same tone as Marvel, not the same characters as Marvel, but do what Marvel did. You put somebody in charge that keeps the tone consistent, that keeps the storytelling consistent, that keeps the characters, in continuity with each other. You put someone in charge to do that, and then you run with it. And they have botched it at every freaking turn, and now they're just throwing random ideas at the wall to see what sticks. You know, it's like we had these dark, dreary first couple of movies. Wonder Woman was like not quite as dark and dreary, but it felt like it was in the same universe at least. Justice League was a hodgepodge mess. Then all of a sudden they said, hey, let's make everything fun and light and cheery. And so they made Aquaman and Shazam, which actually I like. I think Shazam was their best movie, to be honest with you. So they make those, and they actually, you know, okay, but that's a totally different flavor. It doesn't feel like it's in the DCEU at all. And now they're like, oh, hey, let's throw in a serious Joker film. What the hell? That has nothing to do with it. And you are idiots. You are freaking idiots, Warner Brothers. Anyway. All right, so let me get back to the chat. Mr. Miles says, sounds like you might feel about the Joker how I felt about Stargate Universe. Good show, not a good Stargate show. Yeah, exactly. Joker looks like it's a first of all, Joaquin Phoenix, excellent actor. The trailers, it looks like a serious psychological film, and I think it'll probably be good, but I don't think it's going to feel anything like it belongs as a DC film. And I know you had to work Stargate into it. Todd says, hey, Trey, you should have scheduled your surgery for STD return so you can have an excuse not to watch it. You know, you're right. I should have. Mr. Miles says, just rent a vehicle. I've been in a rental vehicle for the last 3.5 weeks, Mr. Miles. And the problem is, this is something that came from the insurance company. They said, well, now that we've totaled the truck, you have until Thursday as far as that vehicle rental. We are not paying for vehicle rental past Thursday. And I was like, well, Thursday's my surgery anyway. But Mrs. Anschecker needs a vehicle. And so we can't just continue, pay for a rental that's renting a vehicle for a month is over $1,000. Not going to happen. And Vile still likes Star Trek U. I assume you mean Stargate U. And let's see. It's true. Can't kick tires with a bad knee. That is very true. And actually, the problem is, it's like after the surgery, the doctors, I'm not allowed to drive a vehicle for 4 weeks minimum. And so, yeah, just a bad idea. Fred says, just pick one up off Amazon. What, a car? That'd be kind of weird. Sci-Fi says, hello there. 2 years, crack open the champagne. You know what I'm going to probably do is tomorrow's a morning stream, and I'm going to just do a standard morning stream probably. But then I think if I have some energy tomorrow, I may do a nighttime stream or something. Well, actually, I may push it till Wednesday, even though I know technically October 1st, I'm going to have to look at... Let me actually look right now, because it's kind of funky the way that YouTube works, because October 1st, I believe, is the date it shows that I set up the channel. But the first video on my channel, I think, is actually a couple days later. Let's see, where is videos and filter? Okay, come on. Sort by title, description, views, visibility, monetization. Whatever happened to sorting by date? Let's see, can I just do it here? Okay. Yes, the first video on my channel is dated October 4th, and I do find this rather enjoyable. It is still, to this date, blocked in all countries, and it is a review of the Vulcan Hello. So what my plan was for tomorrow, and I'm really pissed that I didn't get it done. My plan for tomorrow was to redo a review of the Vulcan Hello and put that out. So that came out on October 4th and then was promptly blocked by CBS. Before it did get 64 views, however, so I'm proud of that. So tomorrow I'm gonna probably spend the most of the day working on a redo of the Vulcan Hello, and we'll talk about that. That's weird. Some weird noise going on downstairs. So let me just make sure. Bear with me, guys, just a minute. And in fact, I'll tell you what. Let me put something on for you, and I will be back in just a couple of minutes, okay? And what's a good one that we'll do the UBERCHAT. That one you guys love, even though it's horrible and I hate it, and I can never remember what number it is. Dang it, where is that one?
I now pronounce you man and turd. You may now kiss.
Joshua, what are you doing?
Nothing, nothing. I'm definitely not making you kiss Law. I repeat, I am not making you kiss Law. I'm definitely not. Hello, unfortunately there's not going to be a part 4. Dad just fixed the computer and he promises not to destroy it again as long as I don't do another one of those, so there's going to be no part 4. Wait, hold on, I just got a text message. Please do these videos, Part 4 is very anticipated. Nope, I quit.
Get him.
Sing it! Sing it! Sing it!
All right, sorry about that, guys. So, as it turns out, it was the cat was, for whatever reason, the cat was deciding to attack the dog, and they were fighting, and that's what the noise was. But Mrs. Antchecker already got it taken care of. So, what a day! What a freaking day! All right, let me get back to it. Chevy Equinox is decent, I think. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not the fanciest vehicle in the world, but it's actually very comfortable. Something I can get in and out of okay. And yeah, it's a V6. It's got a decent amount of power for its size, so I can't complain. Well, I can, but it wouldn't do me any good anyway. Amazon, my roommate has Prime. Well, that's good. Not sure where that came from, but let me get back to the chat. Kelly says, if you hit 10K subscribers, you'll need to celebrate by going to Waffle House. Yeah, I probably will. Josh says, stream you working on the 2-year of the anti-tracker video. Well, the problem with that is that then you guys, I can't do that because I would get copyright blocked because I have to actually watch the episode and pull clips from it and stuff for that. Mr. Miles says, you need some integrity. Holy crap, do I need some integrity. That's very true. Iron Wolf says, really trying to sell this whole you being an old man thing, aren't you? No, I'm not. I don't want to sell it. I'm just laying out the facts here. Valor says, how about doing the video a day later? We don't mind waiting. That's what I'll probably end up doing, Valor, to be honest, but I feel bad about it because I so wanted to get it done. Mrs. Antchecker knows I was so upset about how today went. Because you guys dudes are better than what I've given you, and I feel horrible about that. But thank you for all of you that have stuck with me despite my shortcomings. Mike says, Andrew, get some sleep. We don't care about anniversary video for a few days. Relax, my friend. Thank you, Mike. I do appreciate that. Mr. Miles says, you can rent a U-Haul truck for like $15 a day. Yeah. So I suppose you could rent a U-Haul truck if I want a vehicle that Mrs. Anti-Checker can't drive, and that I would be, yeah. Well, I guess they could throw me in the back. But here's the thing, $15 a day, right? So it's going to be at least a month before I can actually walk around and drive or anything. And so that's a minimum $450 pissing away. I had a friend that took a driver's test in a U-Haul. That is hilarious. Admiral, have I ordered the jerky? Not yet, Admiral, because that was another thing on my list of things to do today, but I will get that done before I go to bed. Thomas says, you can do what Mecha does, make the video during your stream and release it later tomorrow. I can't do that because Mecha's videos don't include a lot of clips like mine do, and you have to be very careful about that. Mr. Rouse, what do you have in mind for the video remake? Well, I'm going to actually focus on a couple things. First of all, it's going to be an Orville Nation. Will I review Season 3 of the Orville? Are you kidding? I cannot wait for Season 3 of the Orville. I don't know when it's coming yet. I don't know if it's been announced, but me and Miss St. Trigger are both very much looking forward to the Orville. But yes, I will absolutely be talking about the Orville when it comes out. But for the Discovery, for the Vulcan Hello, I'm going to basically cover why this was the worst series premiere in Star Trek history. That's it. That's going to be the basic topic of the video. And why I don't think that it's even possible that Picard could do worse. I don't think it's possible. Let's see. Gandalf is at the door. That would have been awesome. What the hell did I walk into? Well, Josh, it's been a day. Admiral says it's a channel dying. Well, I hope not. Chrono says, Krapla, Anti-Trekker, Mrs. Antrekker, Nerds and Anti, what did I miss? Oh, it's just been a long-ass day. Mrs. Antrekker is down with a kidney infection. She's resting right now. She's actually watching the live stream so she can see you guys' chat. She's just not putting stuff in the chat because she's probably exhausted as I am. So, and I know that I speak for Mrs. Antitrekker when I say that, you know, thank you to all of you that have made these last 2 years even possible. So I really, really appreciate that. Mr. Miles, remind people to change top to live. The good call out, my friend. Thomas is saying Stargate Origins because he hates Mr. Miles. And Godspeed says, Enter, I'm going to change my name back to Darth Revan or Zoom because there's another Godspeed on YouTube who is an a-hole and I don't want to be confused with it. Well, I would say go to Darth Revan then. That's what I always, that's the best one for you, I think. Thomas and Mr. Miles are still talking about how awesome Stargate Origins is. Who won the dog-cat fight? I'm not 100% sure because Mrs. Antitrekker rated the game. I do know that the cat is approximately 5 times the size of the dog as far as body weight. So in a straight-up brawl, I dare say the cat wins. However, the dog is a lot faster. So there is that. Mrs. Antitrekker, if you're watching, I don't know who won the fight. Godspeed says, are you doing okay, man? Nice beard, trim, growing mine for 1 year, 1 month already. Fluffy, God help me when I get to 1 year. Mr. Laudel says, greetings and felicitations, hip hip hurrah, and I believe it is pronounced tally-ho.
Hello,
and Kronos donated $5. Thank you so much. Hope this helps. Sorry, Mrs. Antitrekker, about your situation. I appreciate that. I know Mrs. Antitrekker does. And I will tell you, yeah, that is approximately 1/10 of her freaking copay to go to her urgency care. Oh, man. Health insurance in America. It sucks. Thanks, Obama. And there's Orville's $2 asking about season 3 of Orville. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's one, you know, it's funny because there are 4 sci-fi shows that I plan on reviewing in the upcoming as they're released. There's, of course, Star Trek Discovery Season 3, there's Picard, there's Expanse, and there's Orville. 2 I'm very excited about and looking forward to. 1 I'm really, really, really want to just, I want to hang myself when I think about reviewing it, and the other one I'm just plain nervous about, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you which is which. Stuart says, when you get a moment to look at your DP on Discord, I got a fun, safe photo for you to see. Thank you, Stuart. I will check it out when I get a chance, but not right now, my friend. Tom says, wait, BIRDOPREY said Orville was canceled and he's always right. Well, BIRDOPREY, when he said he's always right, he was lying. Mr. Miles says, Krapla about, yep, and thank you, my friend. Darren says, Ms. Antrekker had a kidney infection. Oof, yes. She is definitely hurting, like, yeah, so absolutely, yeah, she's had him a rough day. Mr. Londell says, mark my words, Picard will be worse than Star Trek Discovery. I don't know that that's even possible, Mr. Lundell. I really don't. Not unless they are intentionally trying to make it worse than Star Trek Discovery. I don't see how they can actually make it worse. Because here's the thing. Let's say that the continuity gaffes in Picard are just as bad as Discovery. Let's say that the storytelling in Picard is just as bad as Discovery. You still have Patrick Stewart in the show. And even though Patrick Stewart, in my opinion, should have retired and should not be doing this, I would dare say that he is a better actor than every actor we've seen in Discovery. And there have been some good ones in Discovery, but, Patrick Stewart, man. That's the one saving grace of that show. However, I do not think that the show is necessarily going to be good because Patrick Stewart signed on. I know a lot of people said that, but that's a load of crap because Patrick Stewart is also in the upcoming Charlie's Angels remake. So, yeah. Josh is saying hi to Mrs. A-Checker. Resolute says, what will it take to memory hole STD for the rest of your life? A whole lot of alcohol and then other substances that are not legal here, I think. Mrs. A-Checker says, yes, thank you all. Thank you, babe. Godspeed says, you hear a noise downstairs. Don't worry, guys. It's a home invasion. I'm okay. Then hear click. Thank you for subscribing to Anti-Trekker cries. And then bang and a thud. And then Laura laughs. Orville Nation says, feel much better. Absolutely. Thank you to Mrs. Anti-Trekker. Mike Richards also saying, good, get well soon. Darren says he should change his name to Darth. There you go. That's not bad. So, Godspeed, Darth. How about that? I like that. Do you have enough alcohol for Star Trek Discovery Season 3 in Picard? Maybe. It depends on how bad Picard is. I may have to get some more, depending on how bad Picard is. Where are the thumbs up? I don't know, but you know what? That's... because... Yeah, I don't care right now. Just if you thumb up, you thumb up. If you don't, you don't. But, I know it's a lot of effort for people to hit that thumb up button. Josh is hoping Mrs. Antricker gets better soon. Admiral Saval donated $5. Thank you. Says, the Orville was canceled by Fox but picked up as a Hulu original series. Yes, I am aware of that. And thank you, by the way. And I am, I'm very much looking forward to seeing it on Hulu. I'm hoping that the quality is still there. Because, and I understand why Disney is doing what they're doing, but yeah, I do hope that it works out for that. 50 watching with 24 likes and 0 dislikes. So that's a good ratio, though. I like that. And Sovsborg puts $30 in. Holy gosh. Thank you so much. Says, the only way I will take in STD is if you can make me laugh while reviewing it. Otherwise, I'm never looking forward to the show. Well, thank you, Sovsborg. And I'll tell you, it's, boy, this thing here, that's going to get a lot of work when I start talking about Discovery. Hope Miss Andrea got some cherry maple jerky. Actually, she hasn't yet. We need to do that. And so we haven't tasted it because she hasn't been up on a stream with me, but I'll bet you we need to get her some right now. And Chrono says, Mrs. Andrea, your choice of super chats. All right, babe. So you can pick one. And pick a super chat and let me know in the chat or text it to me and I will play it for you. Picard opens has been 300 years since the straight light men have plagued the galaxy. Now suddenly they are back as gender fluid person. I will seek and destroy us in my new USS Feminism. I could actually see that. Mrs. Anti-Trekker says, Marshmallow, that's our cat, by the way, was up on his haunches, hitting Puka when I came out and yelled at him. He ran away, and Puka ran after him and chased him outside. That's Puka. That is Puka. Puka is a female dog, and she definitely lives up to that name. What did I hear? Bird was lying? I disagree. Dictators never lie. Well, this one does. Vile Mike says, howdy, Mrs. Ancher. Hope you feel better. By the way, Vile Mike, I loved your video. I did manage to get to see it. And yes, the Harry Mudd joke about my avatar was very well done. I appreciate what you were doing there. So you and the Vile Child definitely did a great job with Mudd's Women. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out Vile Mike's channel. He's doing reviews with his daughter, who he calls the Vile Child. They had a great time reviewing TOS episodes right now. And also, don't forget to check out Darren Wagner's channel because he's got some really good insights on Miles O'Brien he's working on. And I'm telling you, this is going to be good stuff. So definitely check out Darren's videos as well. Godspeed said, Miss Secretary, feel my mom was plagued with the, let's see. Feel better, my mom is plagued with those. Oh, you're talking about kidney infections. Yeah, those can be nasty. She hasn't, Miss Antrigger used to get them every now and then, but hasn't had one in a long time. And so, yeah, that sucks. Patrick Stewart looks like an old, drunken, homeless guy. He kind of does. That's why I think he should have retired. Darren says, what makes me nervous about Picard is we haven't seen, to my knowledge, a single Federation ship in the trailers. Yeah, me too. Not only does it make me nervous, that flat out pissed me off when I saw the trailer. I'm like, how is this Star Trek if you're not going to even have a starship in the show? It's one thing to say that the show doesn't take place on a starship like Deep Space Nine, but to not have a single starship in the show? What are you thinking? Orgal Nation in all caps says, Discovery is freaking historical disaster. Don't see anything being worse. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't see how Picard could be worse, but we'll find out in a few short months. There's Admiral's $5. Thank you again, Admiral. I truly do appreciate it. And Stuart says, compared to the captains from STD Episode 1 and the captain from Babylon 5, the one whose star the Earth and the Membari War would be an interesting video. You know, that's actually not a bad, comparison, because here's the thing though, is Sheridan ended the Earth Membari War, didn't he? I didn't think he started it. But I'm a little fuzzy on my P5 history, but as opposed to Burnham, who tried to prevent a Klingon war and failed, but then people say that she caused the war. It's kind of weird. And Admiral Saval wants Spinning Spock. You got it, my friend. Everybody loves Spinning Spock. Oh, wait, not Spinning Spock. Spinning AOC. Gosh, I'm sorry. Let me go back and fix that. And you put in a $5 super chat.
This is CNN.
Enough about politics. I'm hot. I'm gonna dance for you.
There we go. Thank you, Admiral. I appreciate your patience and understanding with me. And there is Sovs Borg, or Sovs Borg with the $30. Thank you again. And if you do want a super chat, mega chat, or even Bird of Prey chat reward, let me know and I will play it for you. Let's see. So when will you tell us Turdistans the terms for Kuroga surrender? I'll tell you right now. I basically, and it's pretty much what Bird said. I offered because what they wanted to do was to continue to fight on, and I was like, look, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this from now on? Every time we do a reset, the losing team, the team that concedes defeat, can then take one blueprint into the next server to give them a little bit of a leg up. It's not going to help them beat us. We know that. But it's enough to where we could keep it from limping on forever on the old server. Thomas said, Miss Ancher, hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Thomas. Truly appreciate that. Josh says, the bigger question is if you have enough alcohol, will your liver survive Picard? That's a better question. You're right. And then Admiral says, spinning AOC, please. I know, but I forgot. I'm behind on the chat right now, Admiral, so sorry about taking so long. But I do owe you another one. So let me know what you want for the second time around. Trek Reviewer says, Antrigger, you need to get Dr. McCoy to take care of the missus. Maybe not because I heard his real first name is Alex. Well, at least according to his discovery. Yeah, Dr. Alex McCoy. And he's not really Southern. He's English, right? Vile Mike says, thank you, Ed and also thank you for letting me use your avatar for the joke. No problem. It was a great gag. And by the way, just so you know, Vile, I am not a copyright. I almost said the N-word. A copyright military personnel from Germany in the 1940s. If somebody wants to use a clip of me or a picture from one of my live streams, go for it. Knock yourself out. I am not going to raise a fuss. The only time I get even the slightest bit perturbed is if someone just re-uploads my video, and I know there are channels that do that kind of crap. That ain't cool. But if you use a clip from mine, like even if you're disagreeing with me, you say Anti-Cracker is full of crap, and you want to play a clip of what I said and then respond to it, I'm totally good with that. And Miss Antrigger says, thank you to Kronos and wants number 23. Of course she does, because that is her favorite. There we go. And thank you, Kronos, and thank you, babe. Get some rest. I'll be down soon. Mr. Miles says, Andrew, I know you hate the argument that Stewart has good taste, but I think it does matter if it's specific to his own roles. His opinions may carry more weight than Kurtzman's. Fair point. And I will say this. If Patrick Stewart's opinions carry more weight than Kurtzman's, that's bound to be a good thing. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be gold, and it doesn't even mean it's going to be good. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I mean, I genuinely don't know, but to the best of my knowledge, I've never seen anything written or directed by Patrick Stewart. So I don't know how good he would be as a storyteller, aside from just being a good actor. So, could be a good thing, could not, but I do think that there's almost no way his opinion could be less good than Kurtzman's. So I'll give you that much. And there's Admiral's second super chat clarifying that he wants spinning AOC. So let me know if you want something else before I wrap it up, my friend. But I am going to be wrapping up soon, so do tell me. Mr. Miles says, think of Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. Maybe Patrick Stewart have that time of power on the show. That would be awesome. Again, if Patrick Stewart has the necessary skills to really run a show. And that I don't know that he does. I'm not saying he does or does not. I simply don't know. And by the way, I'm only reading the ones that are addressed to me right now because I'm so far behind and I do need to wrap things up. Thomas says, what? They should have unconditionally surrendered a new turn of state election now. Sheldon didn't start the Earth Minbari. Captain Michael Jankowski started the Earth Minbari War. What? What? Now you're confusing me. Don't confuse me. And then Admiral says again, spinning AOC. So, are you saying you want me to play it again? Because I will if you want, but...
I got him!
Yeah, that's a little odd. Let's see. I still want to ask Trigger. It's a polite thing. I know it's a polite thing to do, Vile. It really is, and I appreciate that. And by the way, I did see that super chat there, Jaeger. I appreciate it. I'll get to your comment in just a minute. I'm sorry I'm so far behind. Godspeed, 2:30 a.m. off to bed. All right, my friend, take care. Josh says, Sheridan didn't end the Earth Minbari War. It was Sinclair when the Minbari took him aboard the Minbari cruiser and with the Great. That's the thing. And that's the problem I always have with B5. I always get Sheridan and Sinclair confused. It drives me crazy because I know that Sinclair was only, the main character for the first season, and then Sheridan took over because the actor that played Sinclair had, personal issues that he was dealing with, and I know he came back from time to time, and it got kind of convoluted and stuff. But I do get the two confused. So that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of when Sinclair ended the war. I was thinking about Sheridan starting the war. So that's yeah. Just call me old. Mr. Miles says, in all of your clips, you're full of crap. In fact, you are crap. Well, that is true. Tom Thomas says, thank God you didn't negotiate the Japanese surrender. What? That would be like if the Americans said you can keep one ship and the Japanese were like, okay. Jaeger bomb said, and besides, we didn't have the nuclear option. You know, that's the big difference there. Jaeger bomb with his $20. Thank you again. Off subject. Should I worry? A Games Workshop from Warhammer 40K is collaborating with Marvel Comics. Their track record isn't very good, with one of the few fantasies left that's still good. At least we saw the miniatures. I would be very worried because Marvel Comics is pure, unadulterated SJW and has been for a substantial period of time. If you want a lot of information on it, talk to Gary Nerdrotic, but I will just say that yes, anything Marvel Comics touches is toxic. And so if they are going to do a comic book of Warhammer, avoid it like the freaking plague if you love Warhammer. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the game will change. It just means there's probably going to be a comic based on it, and it's probably going to be horrible. Let's see. Patrick Stewart is a great actor, but he's not a writer. Rambo, Picard, and TNG films was Stewart's idea. I thought that was Jonathan Frakes' idea, but I could be wrong. Darren says, Marvel Comics is amping up their SJW politics with a new brand of handicapped gods. So now we have the Eternals, the Asgardians, the Olympians, and the Special Olympians. That was horrible, Darren. You had me going there for a minute. B5, the captain that started Earth Minbari War, was named Michael Janowski, the commander of the EAS Prometheus. Really? So Admiral Saval was right? Well, in that case, I owe you an apology, Admiral Saval. Sir Pat can't run a show, but he sure can run a showrunner. Well, that would be good. If he can keep Kurtzman in check, then I'm good with that. Just end the stream and go eat. I will in a few minutes, but I have this obsessive compulsive thing. I can't end the stream until I get cut to the end, and I'm getting close. I believe there is Kurdistani interference in the Kurogan elections. Kurdistanis are sneakier than Russians. Definitely not. Jaeger says, have the Woman super chat rewards still? Yes. Believe it is this one?
Oh, no, please.
No, that's not it.
I'm a better female character than you.
You would be if you didn't spend all your time with that temper tantrum meme guy.
At least I'm not the one on a show with a questionable acronym.
Take it back.
No!
Yes.
Oops. Sorry to bother you.
There you go. And there we go. And yes, Admiral, I will get the jerky. I promise I will get the jerky. Take care. Good to see you, sir. Hope you had a great trip, and I'll see you all in space here. Thank you, Captain. We had a wonderful trip. I'm just so glad that Mrs. Antitrecker's infection didn't kick in until we got back. That would have been really bad if that hit her when we were out in the cabin. How was the cottage? It was beautiful. It was a cabin in the middle of the Smoky Mountains. It was absolutely gorgeous. Not perfect, but really, really nice place. And looking forward to our next getaway there. And thank you, Alexander is in the house. Just as I'm trying to finish up, good to see you, my friend. And says, one other step forward in the immigration process. Outstanding. I can't wait until she is legit. I wish they'd leave the Space Marines alone. I fear all the changes they will make. Well, then don't read it. That's what I'm telling you. Do not read it. Mr. Miles says, I'd love to see you review Babylon 5 someday because a lot of religious themes that atheists still enjoy, even those elements of it. So I'd love to see religious sci-fi fans. Yeah, I may do it because not a lot of people talk about B5, and it's worth talking about. I mean, even though B5 has not aged as well as, say, Deep Space Nine, it was definitely impactful in sci-fi in general, and serialized sci-fi. It took it to a whole other level that Deep Space Nine didn't even touch. And so, congratulations, Alexander. I can't wait till you can tell us that the immigration process is complete. Todd says, Kuroga doesn't have elections. Kurdistan election was rigged by Kuroga. Well, it was not rigged, Thomas. I won fair and square. You counted the votes. You were in charge of the election. So, yeah. And Ms. Rao says, if you go to a place called the Smoky Mountains but don't get any integrity, that's false advertisement. Well, actually, it's kind of funny because the Smoky Mountains did have a severe fire in Sevierville a few years back. Sci-Fi says, how much dollars in chat do you need to fill the tip jar? I'm not 100% sure what it takes to fill the tip jar. So I know that the turds are split into yellow, red, and green based on dollar amounts. The brown ones are like when new subscribers come in and stuff. And every now and then I reset it. How much? Let's see. I already read that. And then Alexander with another $2 says MCU Aunt May is back. Now we want her naked. Well, you will be happy to know, Alexander. And let me see if I can bring it up real quick for you. I think Babylon 5 aged better than someone like Andromeda. Well, I never watched Andromeda, so I can't really speak to how well it aged. So, to be honest with you. Can you give the server a kick before it goes? Seems to have died. Did it? I will attempt to give it a kick then before I go to bed. Remember, Space Engineers went down on Election Day. Very suspicious. That's complete fake news. And in fact, even, BIRDOPREY acknowledged that was fake news. I believe. I hope so. Let's see. Yeah, it does look like it died here. Yep, so I'm going to have to mess with it back there, and I can't do that while I'm talking to you guys because of security reasons. Speaking of subscribers, it looks like we just got a new subscriber. Very cool. And that would be Miles. Oh, so you unsubscribed and then resubscribed. I see how you are. Or it's a different Miles. Oh, there he is. Yep, Miles, I'm feeling old school. Alexander says, what happens with the restaurant? So the restaurant is actually, it's under construction. Thomas has been working on it for you. And it is called Aunt May's Naked Chicken. That is the actual name of the restaurant. So I think that you will love it when you see it. And so I am going to restart the server, though, in just a minute. In the meantime, a little something just for you, Alexander, because you showed up and you're so freaking generous, and I really do appreciate it. So here you go.
The board vessel's moving into range.
On screen.
Let's get lost in that magic place all alone now. Drink your fill from my fountain of love, wet your lips. I'm a man, I'm a teaser, I'm a man, well I'm a virgin, I'm a man, I'm a one-night stand, a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a dream, I'm a dream divine, make love together.
He's dead.
All right, guys, so with that, I am going to call it a night, and thank you all for hanging out with me. I will try to get things back in order very, very soon. Man, it's been a rough 2 years. I'm looking forward to year number 3.